Mr. President, I move that we resume consideration of Senate Bill number 2090 under Committee Report number 57.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, Senate Bill number 2090 under Committee Report number 57 is now in order.
May I recognize the distinguished colleague Senator Risa Ontiveros to sponsor the measure and to interpolate the distinguished colleague Senator Panfilo Pingla.
We recognize the sponsor of the measure, Senator Risa Ontiveros, and to interpolate Senator Ping Lacson.
Salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. And will the distinguished sponsor or lady from Panay and I would like to say Port del Pilar
Yes, sir.
yield to some clarificatory questions?
Very gladly, Mr. President.
Thank you. I'll try to limit my interpellation to the legal framework of the measure under consideration. And so my first question is, will the distinguished sponsor educate this representation on the intent and purpose of the party list system as originally envisioned by the framers of the 1987 Constitution?
Yes, Mr. President. As originally envisioned by the framers of the 1987 Constitution, at ito po yung inulit nila at binigyang diin dun po sa ating hearings kamakailan ng Senate Committee on ba't ako nagme-mental block? On electoral reforms and people's participation ay na bigyan ng tiyak na espasyo sa ating gobyerno, partikular sa lehislatura, partikular sa House of Representatives, ang mga political forces na hindi karaniwan nakakapasok sa ating political system. At dalawa po yung binigyan nila ng diin sa mga deliberations ng Constitutional Commission at ulit sa mga pagdinig ng Senate Committee on Electoral Reforms. At ito po ay una, yung mga partido na mayroong tiyak na filosofiya o ideolohiya at platform of governance. At pangalawa, na magsing importante o mahalaga ang dalawa, yung mga iba't ibang batayang sektor sa ating lipunan na kalimitan ay nabibilang sa marginalized and underrepresented na mga mamamayan dito sa Pilipinas,
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
President.
And to make them not merely as passive recipients of the state's benevolence, but active participants in the mainstream of representative democracy. No? Yun po yung original intent ng Constitutional Commission at that time. No?
Yun po, Mr. President, good gentleman mula sa Cavite, na sila dahil makikilahok, kakatawanin ng kanilang interes, mamumuno bilang mga nominado ng mga party list organizations, salamat, yun na nga, magiging aktibong nakikilahok. At hindi lamang sa ating sistemang pangpolitika, mas aktibo ring makikilahok sa pagpapaunlad at pakikinabang sa ating ekonomiya,
Yeah,
Mr.
maraming
President.
salamat po, distinguished sponsor. And doon sa deliberations ng Constitutional Commission, ano po yung original list ng sectors na in-include nila under the party list system? Yung pong original na sectors.
Yung original list po ng mga sektor, I'm double checking, Mr. President, dahil what I have here top of mind ay yung nasa panukalang batas natin, but meron nga pong nakabilang sa ating konstitusyon.
Tulong na lang po ako,
Nakasaad
labor,
sa ating konstitusyon.
peasant,
Yes, Mr.
urban poor,
President.
youth. No? Ito po yung talagang binigyan ng recognition. Ano? But ang sabi rin ng batas, ang sinasabi ng batas, eventually na naipasa, pwedeng isubdivide ito mga sektor na ito. Ibig sabihin, yung labor, pwede pang masubdivide into further, maybe parang related sectors no, ng labor. So labor, peasant, urban poor, youth. And then, sa legislation, may mga subsectors. At nadagdagan pa, ito yung indigenous cultural communities and women. So, bali yun po yung original na sektor na envision ng mga constitutional commissioners. sa pagbalangkas ng party system under the 1987 Constitution.
Tama po, Mr. President. At ito rin po ay ginamit na batayan in a way a first incarnation ng party list system dun sa pag-appoint nung presidente noon ng mga tinatawag na sectoral representatives sa Kongreso. Pero ang full fruition, implementation ay batay nga dito sa nakasaad sa konstitusyon at ngayon pinapanukala sa panukalang batas natin, dagdagan yung mga sektor na maaaring lumahok, particular dun sa sectoral party list organizations, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. And yung 50-50 kasi ang sinasabi rin sa Constitution, parang nagreserba ng additional seats, pero parang nasa transitory provision ng Constitution, particularly Article 18, Section 7. Ang sinasabi rito, until a law is passed, the President may fill by appointment from a list of nominees by the respective sectors the seats reserved for sectoral representation. Ito yung nasa paragraph 2, Section 5, Article 6 ng Constitution.
And finally, Mr. President, hinid or sinunod ng Kongreso ang utos dun sa konstitusyon at nung taong 1997 ay ipinasa po yung unang batas natin tungkol sa party list system na ngayon ay kinoconsider nating amyendahan.
7941 yata ito.
7941, Mr. President.
So my next question is, among the 63 or 64, how many party list representatives are there now in Congress, in the lower house?
Kasalukuyan, Mr. President. I'll get back to you
Kasi
right away on that. Opo.
I was listening to the interpellation of the pro tempore, Senate President pro tempore, Senator Tito Soto. 63, but ang record namin parang 64 na yata ngayon.
64 ang kino-contemplate po kahit nung bill natin, Mr. President.
Yes.
Dahil
Right
that
now-
would be 20% nung current strength ng House of
But
Representatives.
right now, there are 64.
64. I'll double check on that, Mr. President. Pero 64 din po yung base number na ginagamit namin dito sa ating panukala para i-demonstrate din kung paano mag-ooperate yung proposed formula sa pag-assign ng party list seats.
Tama
Mr.
po yun, kasi
President.
pag-usapan din natin mamaya, importante yung number 64 or 63 kasi doon tayo magbabase when we compute yung ano magiging percentage ng party list kasi from original 2% dahil sa jurisprudence sa Supreme Court ruling umakyat na ito ng 20% ng total members of Congress, hindi na sinusunod yung 2%.
At kahit, kaya po, nung una, napakasimple at madali gamitin yung 2%, Mr. President. Dahil nung sa unang kongreso na ipinatupad itong party list system law of 1997, ay talagang eksaktong 20% ng House ay makakaupo doon dahil they would need only 2% of all votes cast for the party list para maupo. Pero in the intervening decades na dumami po yung mga distrito sa House of Representatives, lumaki po yung base number, kaya't lumaki na rin po yung what constitutes 20% of the House of Representatives. And ngayon po, sabihin ko na rin po habang maaga dito po sa ating interpellation, kino-contemplate din po nitong ating panukalang batas na kapag ka hindi whole numbers ang makukuha natin kapag hinati yung 20% of the House for party lists. Kung may butal po, yan po ay mapupunta para sa sectoral party list organizations, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dadako na tayo sa medyo mga controversial provisions. Number 1, yung ban on losing candidates under Section 8 dito sa measure, it strictly prohibits any person who lost their bid for elective office. Ito po parang, sa tingin ko lang po, I'd like to get your opinion. Parang violation ito ng Equal Protection Clause and substantive due process. because past electoral laws cannot be used as metric for a person's ability and qualification to serve. Not to mention yung SC ruling, Supreme Court ruling sa Albano versus Comelec, no? Where the Supreme Court decisively struck down this exact prohibition in RA 7941. So will we still pursue under SB 2090 itong provision?
Sabihin ko lang muna po, Mr. President, na ang rationale po ng bahaging ito ng Section 8, siguro alinsunod sa diwa ng kapag meron po isa sa atin na matalo sa eleksyon ay hindi pa po pwedeng ma-appoint sa isang appointive position for 1 year after that election, kaya rin po nandito ito. Pero advised by the good gentleman from Cavite at yung jurisprudence na sinite nila, this representation would be willing to consider a proposed amendment in the period of amendments, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President, I'm not really against it. In fact, I'll state that I'm in favor of this proposal or this provision. Kaya lang, baka masubject sa the same constitutional infirmity dahil sa existing jurisprudence. Of course, alam naman natin yung Supreme Court, minsan nagbabago rin ng kanilang ruling. So, we can try, kaya lang, baka mapahiyalan tayo na ma-struck down na naman, baka may madamay pang, of course, pwede namang yung this particular provision lang yung ma-struck down ng Supreme Court. The next provision is the anti-dynasty provision. No. Ang issue naman po dito, baka mag-suffer tayo doon sa tinatawag na one title, two subjects or one title, one subject na also violative of the one title, one subject provision under Article 6, Section 26 of the Constitution. Ang sinasabi doon, every bill passed by Congress shall embrace only one subject which shall be expressed in the title thereof. So baka kailangan i-cover to ng separate legislative measure instead of inserting this provision in the party list or the amendment of the party list system.
Sa totoo po, Mr. President, meron nga po tayong isinusulong na isa pang panukala sa ngayon na pwedeng ituring na companion measure dito dahil kinikilala hindi lamang ng Kongreso pati ng executive sa LEDAC na mga electoral reform bills, priority electoral reform bills. And but I would like to work on this a little more with the good gentleman from Cavite. I feel strongly about this provision, Mr. President, dahil on the one hand, pinapakita kahit dun po sa mga deliberations natin dun sa political dynasty bill na hindi po nakakatulong yung overwhelming influence ng mga dinastiya sa pag-develop ng mature na political democracy dito sa atin. And at the same time, nakita po natin sa nakaraang mga taon ng karanasan ng party list system na nagamit pong backdoor itong party list system ng mga political dynasties para pumasok at makakuha ng isa pang seat bukod dun sa dominance na na-exercise na po nila sa mga lokalidad nila. So, just to make of record, Mr. President, na I feel quite strongly about this provision dahil kung maipasa po natin ang panukalang ito at kung kasama po itong provision ito na banning dynasts in the party list system as nominees or representatives ay mas mabibigyang daan yung original at yung mga dagdag na layunin natin sa party list system. But saying again, Mr. President, I would be willing to work with the good gentleman from Cavite kung meron po silang nais ipanukalang amyenda sa probisyong ito, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ang napansin ko lang dito sa susunod na discussion natin, parang hindi ito naka-align yung ibaba natin yung political, sasama natin yung political dynasty. Pero pag nag-compute tayo ng panibago, punta na tayo sa computation, and I'd like to be apprised sa basis ng inyong bagong formula as proposed. Saan po nanggaling itong formulation na ito?
Okay. Salamat po, Mr. President. So, para maghanda nung panukalang formula na ito dito sa ating panukalang batas, binalikan po namin halimbawa yung MUGA formula nung mga deliberations sa Kongreso bago natin nabuo yung kasalukuyang party list system law natin. And then, tiningnan po namin kung paano yung formula na ito ay pwedeng i-update para mas ma-achieve yung prinsipyo ng proportionality dito po sa party list system. If Mr. President and if the good gentleman from Cavite would allow, pwede po akong magpakita ng slides para lang yung 7 or 8 steps nung formula ay mas maging konkreto sa atin dahil mas graphic. So,
Sige po, Mr. President.
salamat, Mr. President. So, dito sa proposed revised party list system seat allocation. So, ang premise po ay ang House mayroong 64 na regular party list seats available. Dahil yun po ang 20% ng total House membership, including the party list seats. So, yun po yung unang hakbang dito sa formula. I-determine yung available seats ayon sa Section 11. So sample only, no?
Yeah.
Kasi maaring over the years mag-iba to. So sample po, halimbawa may 64 available seats po tayo, evenly po ihahati ito sa pagitan ng political at saka sectoral party list organizations. So sa total na 64 available seats, may 32 na reserve o 50% niyan reserved sa political party lists, 32 din, 50% din sa sectoral. At yun na nga po, ngayon pa lang, yung binanggit ko po kanina sa good gentleman from Cavite, kung yung bilang ng available seats ay hindi kayang hatiin ng pantay-pantay, yung butal ay reserved sa sectoral party list organizations din. Pangalawang hakbang dito sa formula, kailangang i-determine yung tinatawag na winning minimum percenters threshold, or for short, WMP. At ito ay WMP threshold sa parehong classification. WMP threshold sa political party list orgs, WMP threshold sa sectoral party list orgs. Ang formula dyan, simpleng 1 divided by 32, kasi 32 seats per classification, times 100. At dito, lumalabas, hindi yung dating 2%, pero 3.125%. Ibig sabihin, ang isang organisasyon, kailangan makuha niya at least 3.125% ng mga botong ikinast sa kanyang classification para maging winning minimum percentaire o WMP. Pangatlong hakbang, itatali po yung votes by classification, magkahiwalay. So dito sa 3A, ito po yung political party list organizations, ibibilugin na lahat ng WMP, lahat ng nakakuha ng 3.125% or more ng mga botong ikinast para sa party list sa kanyang classification. So, itutukoy yung mga nakakuha ng 3.125% or more sa political party list organizations, gayon din yung mga nasa sectoral party list organizations, lahat ng nakakuha ng 3.125% of votes cast for their classification or more. Pang-apat na step, dito na tayo papasok sa proportional allocation among WMPs. So, dito, magkaiba na yung divisor. Bibilangin lahat ng votes cast para sa political party list organizations. Nasa sample na to ay 9.6 million votes. Doon naman po sa sectoral party lists, isusuma din lahat ng votes cast para sa sectoral na winning minimum percenters na party list groups, which in this sample ay 4 million votes. And then, gagawin po sa bawat WMP na political party list organization, yung kanyang nakuhang mga boto ay i-divide by 9.6 million votes. yung sa sectoral, WMP, party list organizations, ang nakuha niyang mga boto ay i-divide naman by 4 million votes. At doon makukuha yung share or yung percentage nila sa bawat classification nila. So rounded down, makikita po natin ang seats na dapat makukuha ng bawat isa sa kanyang classification, at least up to this step. At dito makikita natin, sa step pa lang na to, hindi na makukuha yung 32 per classification. Dahil so far, sa mga na-divide so far, 30 seats lang ang maa-allocate sa political WMPs at 27 lamang sa mga sectoral WMPs. So bago natin i-cure yan, dako po tayo sa ikalimang hakbang na applying the seat caps. Dahil meron din po dito sa section 12, letter E, number 5, may seat caps po ang bawat
Mabuti po
classification.
kinorek niyo
Yes,
kasi
Mr. President.
kanina nakita namin 11.
Yes po.
Mabuti na correct nyo na ginawa yung 10.
Yes
so
po.
hindi na ako mag-interject.
Okay po,
Sige,
Mr.
okay.
President. So dito po, lalabas na may seat cap pong ipinapanukala na 10 seats maximum sa mga political party list organizations, 3 seats maximum sa mga sectoral party list organizations. After natin i-cap yung seats na pwedeng makuha ng bawat winning political WMP at bawat winning sectoral WMP, kulang pa rin dun sa 32 each. 29 seats dun sa political WMPs at 26 seats sa sectoral WMP. So may 3 kulang pang ma-allocate na seats sa political party list organizations, 6 pa ang hindi pa na-allocate sa sectoral party list organizations. Dito natin pupunuin sa hakbang 6. I-allocate natin ang remaining seats sa non-WMPs, 1 seat at a time by rank. So ibig sabihin, sa political party list organizations, may i-award pang 3 seats sa mga non-WMPs. Doon sa susunod na 3 nakarank 1, 2, 3 pagkatapos ng political WMPs. Gayon din sa sectoral party list organizations, yung 6 na non-WMP seats ay i-award din sa mga susunod na rank 1 to 6 at 1 seat each. So dadako po tayo, at least dito sa panukala natin at panukalang formula, sa ika-7 hakbang. Halos tapos na po. Final classification, final allocation by classification. Kung saan makikita po natin na sa political party list organizations na award po ang lahat ng 32 seats. At kung bibilangin natin, yan po ay 12 mga political party list organizations. Samantalang ang sectoral party list organizations na allocate din po ang buong 32 seats, at kung bibilangin din natin, ito ay 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 sectoral party list organizations. Interestingly, Mr. President, 50% more ng mga sectoral party list organizations than yung political party list organizations. So ang magiging final na resulta po kung maipasa natin ang panukala at kung ganito po ang maipapasa nating formula, ay sa huli, final result sa step 8, lahat ng 64 available party list seats ay na-allocate. 32 po sa mga political party list organizations, 32 para sa mga sectoral party list organizations, para mabuo po yung total na 64 seats o 20% po ng House of Representatives, Mr. President.
Thank you. Yung sa political parties, how many registered political parties are there in the country, both national and regional.
Opo. I'll get back to you on that ASAP, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Opo, para...
Ang purpose po ng tanong ko, kasi
Opo.
ang proposal sa measure para maximum 10 seats yung political parties, ano?
Opo.
And maximum 3 seats lang sa sectoral.
Opo.
So ang inisip ko, parang nagkaroon na ng imbalance na madidipit na yung the very purpose of the party list system under the 1987 Constitution na underrepresented tsaka under deserved, di ba? Sectors. Kung maximum 10 ang kukunin sa mga political parties, registered COMELEC, hindi ba parang agabyado na yung sectoral representation?
I'm willing to discuss that more
Yes.
with the good gentleman from Cavite, Mr. President. Although ipo-point out ko po, at least dun sa proposed formula at yung simulation, actually ang lumalabas, mas maraming sectoral party lists, 50% more than the political party lists, actually ang mahahalal. Given na yung 3-seat cap ay baka kaya nang makuha ng mas maraming sectoral party list organizations sa ngayon, and that will, at least sa simulation, magre-resulta po siya na yun na nga, 18 sa kanilang mga partido ay makakapasok sa House kumpara halimbawa, at least sa simulation, sa 100 political party list organizations. Ang sense naman po ng pagbibigay ng 10-seat cap sa mga political party list organizations ay partly po yung ilan sa mga kasalukuyang at pwede nating i-anticipate na uusbong pa ng mga political party list organization ay meron sa kanila na mga multisectoral in themselves at maaring sa kasaysayan ng buhay nila bilang partido ay nagdesisyon na sige, manatili tayong multisectoral political organization. Samantala yung iba naman ay maaring nagdesisyon na maghati-hati tayo sa mga sectoral party list. So in sum, Mr. President, yung interest po sa political party list organizations ay yun ang pag-oorganisa at pagko-consolidate. Samantala yung pangunahing interest naman po dun sa sectoral party list organizations ay plurality po ng mga tinig ng mga sektor. At ayon po sa ating panukala, kailangan pipiliin ng partido aling classification nila gustong mag-compete at lumahok. In the same way na bawat isa sa ating mga botante, kailangan din nating pumili. Sa ating party list vote sa balota, boboto ba tayo ng isang political party list or boboto ba tayo sa isang sectoral party list, Mr. President?
Ang malaking problema po rito o concern, no, at the very least, sa mga ibang probinsya na may mga regional political parties, baka mag-encourage pa ito ng political dynasty. Kasi say in a small province with only one legislative district, pag nag-form sila ng political party list, no? So, para in-expand mo yung district representation, although isa lang ang district, pero there will be 2 or 3 or more representatives, ano? Yung iba kasi naging party list representatives representing the regional political party. So, para in-expand mo yung political dynasty in a small or relatively small province.
Actually, Mr. President, napaka-importante ng puntong yan na kasasabi lang ng good gentleman from Cavite at nagsimula na rin lumabas from other quarters yung
Yes.
ganyang concern, particularly about yung unintended result kaugnay ng paano natin naranasan, particularly yung mga regional party list. So again, I would be willing to work with the good gentleman from Cavite about a possible amendment to that,
Yeah,
Mr.
thank you
President.
for that response, Mr. President. Kasi meron tayong alam na talagang nagpuputap ng party list. Hindi pa ito political party, party list na sectoral, kuno. Para madagdagan kasi sobra yung membro ng pamilya kesa sa district. Maraming anak, pero isa lang ang district kasi maliit ang population, pero sufficient para makapag-elect ng party list representative. So there lies the danger, Mr. President, distinguished sponsor. So maybe during the period of amendments, baka pwedeng i-revisit natin ito and reconsider yung magiging imbalance, no? Baka maging yung party list, maging ang nagre-represent actually political parties na mga political families.
Yes, Mr. President, I would be very willing to consider such a proposed amendment from the good gentleman from Cavite for possible
Thank you,
acceptance.
distinguished sponsor. Thank you, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sige. Session suspended.
We're still in the period of interpellation. May we recognize Senator Gatchalian, our Senate President, to interpolate Senator Tiveros, the gentle lady from Iloilo.
The
From
Senate,
Panay.
the Senate President is recognized to interpolate.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The gentle lady willing to take a few questions, considering that Senator Lacson has already extensively interpolated and discussed, and I was listening intently earlier.
Very willing, Mr. President.
Just a few basic questions. First, I noted that the title of the bill, the short title of the bill is Party List Reform Act.
Yes, Mr. President.
And my basic question is, ano ang rini-reform natin, good sponsor? I think it's good to note that, of course, marami hong mga komento tungkol sa party list, and I'm sure you know because you also represented a very strong party list once upon a time. So the bill, ano po ang rini-reforma po ng panukala natin?
Maraming salamat para sa tanong na yan, Mr. President. In large part, no, yung mga problema na nagpe-plague sa current party list system natin, pwedeng sumahin sa entrenched dynastic and corporate interests have been diluting sectoral representation and political representation for the marginalized and underrepresented and for more genuine political parties. Parang na-overtake na yung party list system ng ganitong mga interes. For example, Mr. President, in 2022, it was reported that the number of party lists tied to political clans or incumbent officials skyrocketed with 70 out of the 177, so almost 50%. 70 out of the 177 registered party lists in the 2022 elections featuring said political ties. Gayon din, merong mas updated pa, March 2026 report ng Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism na nadiskubre nila kalahati ng 64 party list representatives in the 20th Congress are members of active political clans, and 1/3 even have ties to government contractors, Mr. President. Kaya itong dalawang phenomena na hindi kinontemplate ng constitutional framers, hindi kinontemplate natin sa Kongreso na overtake na sa party list system ay mayroong dedicated na mga provisions dito sa ating panukala, Mr. President.
So is it parang lumalabas po dun sa sinabi niyo, 50% comes from a dynastic families or dynastic setting, and then yung 30% merong some form of government contracts or government-related contracts.
Opo, Mr. President.
So 20% lang talaga yung natitirang
Yun na nga po.
true representation or true intention ng party list.
Yun na nga po, Mr. President, napaka-modest na nga ng percentage ng House na reserve sa party list system. Tapos, kalahati pa nun at 1/3 pa nun ay kakainin pa ng mga dynasties, ng mga contractors na may sarili ng base ng kapangyarihan at yaman. So, frustrating the original intent of the Constitution at natin sa Kongreso sa pagpasa ng kasalukuyang batas,
Narinig
Mr.
ko kanina
President.
sa interpellation ni Senator Lacson, na in order to reform itong 50%, merong anti-dynasty provision, albeit I think there's a conversation whether it's violating the one subject rule, no, of the Constitution. But nevertheless, nakita ko yun rin yung isang intention para matanggal yung 50% na related sa dynasty. Yung 30%.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
President. In both aspects, hindi po ito rider actually dahil legitimate restriction po siya on party list nominees at mag-a-apply po siya sa nominees at saka sa representatives and not to other elected officials outside the party list system.
So kung meron na siyang relative na elected official, hindi na siya pwede maging nominee.
Ganun po ang mangyayari. Kahit dito sa ating proposed proposed party list system law na to the second degree din of consanguinity and affinity, Mr. President.
And then how do we address itong 30% no government with government contracts or nominees with some form of related government contracts? How do we address that in the bill?
Ganon din po, Mr. President, sa section, actually, both yung hindi inaasahan na pagpasok ng mga dynasties at ng mga contractors sa party list system ay na ina-address po pareho sa Section 9 ng bill on qualification of party list nominees. Section 9 provides all nominees, including those of the youth sector, shall not be qualified to become a party list nominee if the person A is related by affinity or consanguinity to the second degree to any incumbent elected local and national official, including a party list representative, and B has or has had a beneficial interest in or holds or has held contracts or subcontracts, whether as individual or as an incorporator, director, or officer to supply the government or any of its divisions, subdivisions, or instrumentalities with goods and services, or to perform construction or other works in the last 10 years preceding the subject election, Mr. President.
Thank you for that answer. And marami tayong natutunan dito sa flood control issue. I think isa sa mga natutunan natin, kung hindi man nakapangalan sa kanila sarili, nakapangalan sa anak, nakapangalan sa asawa, nakapangalan sa pinsan, and yung government contracts, hindi diretso sa kanila pero nakapangalan naman sa relatives. And I think Senator Cheese filed a bill na kung merong kang mga relatives sa may government contract, hindi ka pwedeng sumali sa mga bidding for government contracts. The same when
yung ganyan, if I may, Mr. President, and yung ganyang practice po sa pagnenegosyo nila, parang nire-reproduce lang nila sa political system natin, pati sa party list system natin. So gusto natin pong maglagay, Mr. President, ng guardrails para hindi sila patuloy na makapasok sa party list system at masuportahan ang mga totoong stakeholders sa isang party list system na dun talaga lumago at makalahok at makaambag sa ating political system, Mr. President.
Correct. Thank you for that answer, Her Honor. Dito sa letter B, is the good sponsor open to extending the beneficial interest to relatives, also to mga anak nila, mga asawa nila, kung merong consanguinity to the second degree sa anti-dynasty provision nitong bill, ang iniisip ko, we should also extend the same second degree consanguinity to government contracts, naman, so that yung temptation na tumakbo ka for party list and then mag-secure ng contracts and yet ipapasa mo lang sa mga relatives mo, mawawala yon, no? So at the proper time and with the permission of the good sponsor, isa-suggest ko na i-extend rin natin itong second degree to government contracts. If we-
Good amendment po yan, Mr. President. Learning yung mga leksyon natin mula nga dun sa investigasyon sa flood control scandal. At saka papayagan po yung amendment na iyan na mag-enrich yung mga provisions ng bill natin sa isa't isa.
Correct. Because
Salamat
yun yung mga
para doon,
natutunan
Mr.
natin
President.
na si congressman, hindi man lang diretso doon, but yun na nga, no? Relatives niya or pinsan niya nandoon. It's the same. No? That's a workaround in divesting their businesses. So at the proper time, we'll make that amendment and recommendation.
Salamat para doon, Mr. President.
I'll go to a topic that Senator Lacson opened up earlier, and I also feel strongly. Gusto ko malaman, what is the rationale for having that 50-50 division of seats between the political party list and sectoral party list? Anong naging discussion and rationale in that concept?
Ang naging rationale at saka discussion dyan, Mr. President, at kasama nga po yung mga resource persons natin nung hearings ng Senate Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation, kasama po mga constitutional framers, saka iba pang mga legal luminaries, ay para makamit talaga natin sa pamamagitan ng party list system yung dalawang magkasabay at magsinghalagang layunin ng party list system as contemplated by the Constitution at ipinangarap nung unang party list law. Both na umusbong yung mga party list organizations kung saan yung mga basic sectors as originally identified at habang dumami sila over the decades, na magkaroon talaga ng espasyo sa ating lehislatura, sa House of Representatives, para mailaban nila yung kanilang mga interes bilang isang basic sector sa loob din ng gobyerno o ng estado, particularly sa legislature. At yung pangalawang layunin na yung party list system ay maging espasyo para i-encourage talaga yung pag-usbong at paglawak, pag-consolidate ng mas maraming totoong partido politikal. Ibig sabihin mga partido na meron talagang distinct na filosofiya o ideolohiya of governance at meron din pong platform of governance, Mr.
Ang
President.
ating one of the most important concepts ng nating 1987 Constitution is social justice.
Yes.
Through representation. So, sang-ayon ako na yung sectoral groups, especially marginalized groups, ang mabigyan sila ng spasyo at ng boses sa loob ng Kongreso dahil nga mahirap kalabanin yung mga well-entrenched political personalities in different parts of our country. And kung ikaw ay isang magsasaka, kung ikaw ay isang mangingisda at yung pangangailangan mo sa iyong sektor ay hindi nabibigyan ng boses, sang-ayon ako na itong mga marginalized groups ay mabigyan ng boses sa loob ng Kongreso para mabigyan natin ng solusyon at attention yung kanilang pangangailangan. On the other side, yung political party, alam nyo rin na dito sa ating bansa, malayo pa tayo dun sa ideal political party setup, no? Dahil nga just an example, madaling magpalit-palit, di ba? Kung sino ang dominant party, mabilis magpalit, kaya nga may mga partido na after election lumalaki, lumiliit.
Nasa ibang bansa, Mr. President, pinaparusahan yung ganyan.
Correct, no?
Pag
So,
iwan mo yung partido mo para sa iba, maganda pong umabot tayo sa ganyan na loyalty talaga sa partido habang buhay, halimbawa.
At ang ideology at philosophy ng mga political parties dito hindi rin klaro, no?
Opo.
Marami sa ating mga political parties are personality based. Nakikita
Or
naman
electoral
natin yun.
coalitions lamang, Mr.
Or
President.
for convenience purposes, no? So in short, hindi pa tayo umaabot sa ideal political party system. At wala rin tayong batas, no, na nag-govern sa political party system natin. It's really more regulated by COMELEC, no. So going by the kanina narinig ko si Senator Lacson, baka maging dahil very loose at very hazy, no, ang political party system natin. At pagbibigyan pa natin sila ng additional space dito sa party list system natin, hindi ba magiging dangerous dahil hindi pa klaro yung ideology, hindi pa rin klaro yung kanilang philosophies, and yet we are giving them 50% of the seats,
Opo.
no, and 10% seats in one go, no. I share that concern ni Senator Lacson, also with Senator
Yes,
Tito Soto,
Tito
no,
Soto.
nung unang pag-interplate niya, dahil nga yung hindi pa tayo umaabot sa ganyang ideal setup, no? So I want to get the views of the sponsor on ano ba ang nakikitang direksyon, no, for allocating 50% of the party list seats to the political parties.
Unfortunately, gaya ng nabanggit ko kanina on the side, currently wala pong distinction sa mga regular party list kung sino sa kanila ang makakategorize na political at sino ang sectoral. Walang strict na distinctions or paglilista talaga. But I will venture the guess, Mr. President, na kahit yung mga political party list organizations na kasalukuyan nasa party list system, I would venture the guess na karamihan, kung hindi man lahat sila, ay hindi mabibilang sa mga dominant political parties sa ngayon. Political parties loosely defined. I think yung documentation ng kwentong buhay so far ng party list system dito sa ating bansa would show na dun unang pumasok sa party list system yung mga bagong partido politikal, at least nung panahong yun ng late 1990s, na hindi makakuha ng espasyo sa distrito or sa probinsya or sa munisipyo. And it may be that over the decades, nagkaroon ng some kind of overlap na among some. Pero again, Mr. President, willing to be corrected if I am wrong, palagay ko hindi rin marami yung mga established political parties na nakapasok talaga sa party list system as those na ika-categorize natin according to this proposal as the political party list organizations. May panahon pa nga, Mr. President, na naalala nyo siguro, binan yung 5 dominanteng political party na pumasok or tumakbo sa party list system. Kasi nga, in recognition of the fact na yung mga bago at tinawag noon alternatibong political party at sectoral party list organizations ang dapat may priority na makapasok doon. So, as I shared with the gentleman from Cavite earlier, I would be glad to work with the good gentleman from Valenzuela, the Senate President, on a formulation that most of our colleagues hopefully could live with. But I do feel very strongly na may espasyo pa talaga which hasn't been really filled sa ating political party system, as also observed by the good Senate President, na para magkaroon tayo ng espasyo, ngayon 20% lang sa House. Eventually, sana more of the House, or in some countries, yung buong House nila ay filled by proportional representation or party list system para mas maraming totoong political parties ay umusbong at mas marami sa mga kasalukuyang partido ay maging bahagi din ng pag-mature ng isang political party system sa atin.
Isa pang
Mr.
nakikita
President.
kong magiging complication is yung campaign financing. Dahil ang campaign financing, even though we have to declare it, hindi maraming workarounds, no? Maraming workarounds. Alam naman natin yan.
Opo.
No? Bilang mga politiko at kandidato rin, maraming workarounds. And it will be tempting for mga political parties to enlarge themselves. So, yung mga political parties, typically, meron na silang mga tayo, no? I'm a member of a political party.
Same here,
Marami
Mr.
sa mga
President.
kasama natin, members ng political party, even in the House, no? Very defined yung kanilang political party. But it's always their goal to increase their numbers. So yung mga political parties na, of course, may malalaking mga supporters and backers, it will be very tempting for them to fund their party list and increase their size. And without that very strict campaign financing mechanism, very tempting sa kanila na palakihin yung kanilang bilang. No? So that's also another complication na nakikita ko if we give the political parties that opportunity to enlarge themselves.
Mr. President, salamat sa good Senate President for mentioning that dahil I'm sure nasa likod ng isip nating lahat na kasunod ng mga naunang electoral reforms tulad ng yung party list system law, yung overseas absentee voting, yung election automation, marami pa ring dapat sumunod ng mga electoral reforms kasama na po yung campaign finance reform and hopefully over time pwede nating buuin talaga yung policy framework for that mature political party system, including bypassing the campaign finance reform bill. At this point, Mr. President, idagdag ko na rin sa conversation namin ang good Senate President na also to acknowledge the work that has been done by the Senate Committee on Electoral Reforms and the previous chair, Senator Aimee. Kasama po sa kanyang panukalang batas, Senate Bill number 757, yung parang partition system na isinama po sa committee report na ito na magkahiwalay po yung sectoral party list organizations, at saka yung political party list organizations, Mr. President. Para kilalanin lang yung ongoing work na ginagawa ng Senado sa ating committee
Thank
system.
you
Mr.
for that.
President.
So at the proper time rin, we'll propose some amendments to Her Honor to good sponsor.
Thank you, Mr.
Yun lang yung
President.
nakikita nating mga complications. And of course, we want to, like you, we want to strengthen our party list system. Nasa constitution natin yan. And ang view ko is to be consistent with the social justice concept of our constitution to give voice to the marginalized. Another topic that I want to also get some clarity, yung allocation. No? 10 seats for the political party and then 3 seats for the sectoral. Anong naging discussion and thought process? Bakit mas malaki sa political party compared to the sectoral?
The reason, Mr. President, would be reflected in yung basic principles na isinasama itong dalawang categorization sa party list system. Na ang interes para sa mga political party list organizations ay organization and consolidation. So, and consolidation would require an increase in size. On the basis of unity na over time, mas marami silang magka-come to share dun sa philosophy at saka platform of governance. Samantalang, yung interest naman dun sa sectoral party list organizations ay plurality of voices of the sectors. So, ganun yung proposal tuloy sa bill na ang seat cap ay mas mataas para sa mga political party list organizations dahil kino-contemplate at gusto ng bill na mag-consolidate sila at lumaki. Samantalang sa mga sectoral party list organizations, mas mababang cap, 1/3 nung cap sa political para maparami yung mga sectoral parties na pumasok. And as I pointed out dun sa simulation, merong unintended and I think good outcome na actually 50% mas marami ang bilang ng mga sectoral parties na papasok kumpara dun sa political party list organizations. At least sa simulation po na yan,
I
Mr.
would
President.
assume dahil yung mga sectoral, very defined yung kanilang advocacies.
Opo.
Like for example, sa mga magsasaka, sa mga farmers natin, very defined yung kanilang needs, yung kanilang advocacies. Labor groups, very defined rin. I would assume that giving them a larger voice will give them a bigger probability of getting their needs in Congress, or at least marinig sila ng mas malaki. But in a political party where hindi pa masyadong defined and hindi pa ideal, giving them a bigger voice might not be be very clear in terms of their ideology. No? Kasi sa mga observation ko ngayon, very few political parties may clear ideology. No? Karamihan talaga is really politics-based. No? So in other words, if you give them 10 seats, mas malakas yung politics-based voice nila compared to their ideology or philosophy. No? And I see the intention. I see the intention to the bill na kasi in other countries, actually in the BARM, no? Sa BARM, merong 40% of the seats are dedicated to political parties. No? 50% of the votes are dedicated to political parties. And the reason for that is to balance the political families there. No? In other countries, very defined. Kung left ka, right ka, center, left, right, very, very defined. Pero dito sa atin, hindi defined. Ang defined sa atin is political interest. No? So if we give them 10 seats, ang political interest nila ang lalaki, hindi yung ideology. So that's chain of thought na naiisip ko in terms of allocating 10 seats versus 3 seats. No?
I'm willing, Mr. President, na magpatuloy mag-reflect dun sa concern na nire-raise ng good Senate President. Gaya ng sinabi ko rin sa good gentleman mula sa Cavite kanina, I'll try to get back to the colleagues with more numbers on how many are the current political and sectoral party list organizations represented in the House. But again, I would be willing to guess na hindi completely overlapping yung mga political party list organizations na ngayon ay nasa loob ng party list system at yung mga dominant political parties. And we do want, at least the bill, ini-imagine niya na sa pamamagitan ng ganitong dalawang classifications and admittedly magkakaibang seat caps for the reasons I mentioned earlier, gustong i-encourage sa pamamagitan ng party list system na mas maraming mas genuine talaga, fully genuine na mga political parties ay umusbong dito sa ating political system.
With the permission
Mr.
of
President.
the distinguished sponsor and the
Mr.
Senate President, may I just interject? It skipped my mind when I was interpolating. Ano yung biggest number of votes garnered by a party list in 2025, for example? I understand it's Akbayan, no?
Yes, Mr. President, it was
2 million plus.
2.7. Tama po ba, mga kasama? It was, if I'm correct, 2.7 million votes,
Yes.
Mr.
And,
President.
Ano yung lowest number of votes garnered by a party list?
I will get back to you on that this evening, Mr.
Parang
President.
200,000 lang eh.
And that was, in point of fact, Mr. President, yun po yung original na minimum 2% na
Now,
kailangan ma-capture noon.
I asked that
Yung
question
simula.
because we might be confronted with a situation, malaking probinsya, no? Sabihin nating, okay, Cavite, 2 million mahigit ang botante. Mapupuno yan ng party list.
Kaya importante, Mr. President, yung concern nyo about regional parties. And I am committed to working with the good presiding officer
Lowest
on that,
is
Mr.
8,000.
President.
Kaya ng isang maliit na probinsya yon.
So yon. Kaya importante po yung tanong nyo, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you,
Salamat
swing
po.
sponsor. Thank you, Mr. Senate President.
Thank you, Senator Lacson, for that intervention. I'll go to another topic, and this is in just to focus on Section 5. Merong isang process dito. And let me just go to the
Registration, Mr. President.
yeah, registration, and there's a process here, yung evidentiary public hearing. No? And how do we envision this evidentiary public hearing? Kasi ito rin yung nagiging nagiging source rin ng confusion as well as nagiging malaking issue ito. So, and this is itong evidentiary public hearing is supposed to be the filter, no? for the party list that will be interested in joining the election. So how do we envision for COMELEC to conduct evidentiary public hearing so that hindi siya magiging confusing, arbitrary, or even controversial, and very clear yung magiging direction ng COMELEC when they conduct this evidentiary public hearing.
Salamat, Mr. President. I recall this may be related to a concern also raised by the former Senate President, Senator Tito Soto, yung issue na hindi ba ano ba yung binibigay nating parameters sa COMELEC at hindi ba ito masyadong maluwag. The evidentiary public hearing shall be conducted by COMELEC so that the party list system or the political party list organizations eligible for registration truly advocate a clear ideology, platform, or principles and policies for the general conduct of government. And gayon din na yung mga sectoral party list organizations na nagre-rehistro prove in those same evidentiary public hearings na talagang nire-representan niya ang marginalized and underrepresented sectors and that its nominees belong to the sector that they seek to represent. And in the previous paragraph, Mr. President, sinasabi po dito yung malinaw na batayan kung paano kikilalanin ng COMELEC or na ebidensya na karapat-dapat itong partido na ma-qualify tumakbo bilang political or sectoral party list organization. And for the sectoral na clear and convincing evidence that it is economically, politically, or socially marginalized and underrepresented, Mr. President.
Yeah, kasi ito ang nagiging isang source rin ng controversy, yung pag-accredit. And marami tayong naririnig na ma-accusations, bakit ito in-accredit, but ito hindi ito in-accredit. And we just want to make sure that hindi siya magiging arbitrary, especially we want to lean towards yung mga marginalized groups, no? Dahil yung mga marginalized groups, as you know, marami sa kanila hindi naman kayang kumuha ng mga dekambanilang abogado, hindi naman sila kayang kumuha ng mga taong talagang makakatulong sa kanila. And ang chain of thought ko is without clear parameters or without clear guidelines under the law, it might disenfranchise them because hindi sila makakakuha ng mga taong makakatulong sa kanila. No? So, at the proper time, we'll also make some suggestions. Of course, we'll consult the good sponsor on that. But the chain of thought that this representation has is to not disenfranchise, no, yung mga marginalized groups because they cannot compete with, let's say, political parties that are well backed, no? Political parties that are meron talagang grupo, no? So we want to make sure that equal footing pagdating sa registration and accreditation.
I thank the good Senate President, Mr. President, for his concern for the marginalized and underrepresented sectors and look forward to working with him on his proposed amendments to this section.
Yeah, thank
Mr.
you.
President.
Marami na hong natanong si Senator Lacson when I was listening to him earlier. Actually, I took a lot of notes. So I'll terminate my interpellation here. And at the proper time, we'll also make recommendations. And of course, we're willing to work with a good sponsor on those recommendations. Maraming salamat, Senator Risa. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President. Maraming salamat, Senate President.
Mr. President, may we move to suspend consideration of Senate Bill number 2090? So move, Mr. President.
Is there an objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.